me and Sean just sitting here talking about ego and confidence and the complexities in those things. I think one of the big problems with advice is that it's always from one perspective. It's like, and like what we're talking about is very nuanced and interesting. So, yeah, Sean was saying things good.
Well, I was saying that I don't think confidence and ego are even related concepts. A lot of people have like confidence issues, or they think that they just have a weird idea about confidence. And when you have it in something, they'll assume it's ego, or they can't. Like, there's no. A lot of people are either unconfident and have like a complex, like a nervousness about it, or they'll have like a big ego about it. But there's not a lot of people that are just confident in something. And people really talk about confidence and think about confidence, but I don't like thinking about confidence is not even my hobby. You know what I mean? I don't think about it. I think about it like the way I think about walking. Like it's just nothing. It's not, I don't understand why people don't have it in areas, and other areas, why would you? Yeah, like if you've never flown a plane, you shouldn't be confident in being a pilot. That would be, uh, you know, that would be illogical, right? so, so I don't really, I don't see why people.
Your idea of confidence is like kind of related to what we were talking about before. Is like competence.
Yeah,
So competence is really what.
competence breeds confidence as a natural result. And
Right.
to have a concept, like,
Explain that a little bit to people. Like
well,
this is really different than what you usually hear.
so let's say that I am not confident in driving a car. I shouldn't be, because I've never driven a car. And so to be confident would just be delusional, and I would just be confused and upset when that confidence ran up against reality, and then didn't know what I was doing driving the car. So your body naturally doesn't give you confidence in that. That's just reasonable. And then as you drive the car, you develop confidence, and then once you're able to do it, your brain says, well, I'm able to do this, so I'm confident in doing it. The nervousness and the tension is your body anticipating unexpected circumstances, having to focus more on it, because it literally does.
So basically, what you were saying before, I can't remember where we were, but is like people that lack confidence actually lack competence. So they don't have ability to do things. And so, like, confidence matches competence most of the time.
They're so lazy that they will not put in the work to get good at the thing, but they will be upset that they're not confident in the thing, and then have like a weird complex about it. Yeah. That's what I
Any
think.
examples in your life, like you've seen that?
A lot of people are not confident in talking to
Yeah.
girls,
Okay.
but if they would just go talk to girls, eventually they would get confident. You know what I mean? Once they got good at it. Or confident, I mean, that's a big one. That's a big one. Or confident in their body. Like if they don't think, oh, I'm not confident in a fight or whatever, if they just got stronger, they would be, or if they just like practice fighting moves, that would go away. You know what I mean? But they don't want to go do that. They won't. Instead, they're like, they think that confidence is some like magical thing, like the Force from Star Wars, that they have to power pose, or they have to learn the secrets. How can I be confident with girls? How do I get in the mode to become confident? Like it's this thing that they want to find a way to trick their brain into being confident, even though they have no reason to be confident. And instead, it would be easier, ironically, just to go do things that logically would make you confident. And people that are confident without the skills, they look like delusional clowns, by the way. Right? Like when I see somebody who's confident in something who can't do it, I just think that guy's a moron. That guy's retarded. Like I don't see that confidence as a good thing. I see it as clownish. I see it as ridiculous. It makes him look stupid. And so like this desire to have confidence without having done anything is just laziness. It's just another desire to shortcut and get to the end, get the thing they want. You know.
So what about yourself? Something where you were not confident before in something and then?
What was it? Let's see. I was not confident in talking to girls when I was young, but then I kept talking to girls and I realized that it's just very easy. I'm funny, I'm tall, and so most girls and most girls will just talk to you anyway. You know what I mean? Like talking to a girl is not walk. Like I used to think, I'm gonna go up and walk and you come up to this girl and talk to her, and then if it doesn't lead to like her being my girlfriend, then it was all a waste. And so I need to do all the right moves to make sure that this thing works out, and constantly monitoring like how the interaction is going and things. But now that I know more about it, now I know that's not the case, and I just go and talk to people, and now I have more confidence because like now like it used to be like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to this girl. Oh, this girl's awesome. You know, there's not other girls like her. I can't blow my chance, right? But now I'm thinking like, I'm doing charity work. This girl is boring, not very intelligent, having a terrible life, getting hit on by losers, and then I'm going to take time out of my day, right? I could be studying Japanese cards. I could be talking with funny friends that I have. Instead, I'm going to do a little bit of humor for her, right? I'm going to like go out of my way and grace this person with some pretty interesting conversation. And, you know, that's kind of, you know, do I want to do charity work right now? Do I really want to? They would have to be pretty attractive for me to want to like bother with that, you know? And I'm talking to this person, I'm evaluating them almost like a fruit. I'm picking it up. I'm like, well, you know, is it in season? Okay, it's in season. But is it smooth? Okay, it's smooth. Right? Like is this girl like if I invited her somewhere, would she add value? You know, like are you cool? She's like, I'm cool. I'm like, okay, but are you a vibe? And she's like, I'm a vibe. And I'm like, no, but are you really a vibe? And she's like, I'm a vibe, but whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like evaluating it like somebody like hemming and hawing over like a car, basically like kicking the tires and just like checking this thing. It's because I have experience doing that that's giving me that confidence. But that happened naturally, and it didn't. I mean, honestly, like it doesn't take that long, especially if the quicker you can learn something like talking to girls, the faster you'll get confidence. And so I don't understand why people don't just do that. Instead of like, oh, what do I say? Like, just if you just went and learned how to do it, it wouldn't be a big thing anymore, I think.
Right. Once you learn how to ride a skateboard or something, you know, there's nothing crosses your mind. Like when I get on a skateboard, I don't think about anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of think, well, is there anything to do riding with this board? Like, is it something I can go up or do something with this? It doesn't. Nothing crosses my mind. Now, if I'm over my head, like for example, like say a really like a skate park with really vertical, you know, snake run and a very big pipe, then I'm going to be very scared because I haven't done that forever, and I was never really extremely good at it. I was kind of just getting by.
People don't have confidence in things, and they think that something's wrong with them. Like they think that's like a problem that needs to be solved, but it's not. Being not confident in something is logical, healthy, normal, and it doesn't bother me. Like there's lots of things that I'm not confident in, but I don't have a complex about it. Like I'm not confident in skateboarding because I don't do it. It doesn't bother me that I'm not confident in it. And I don't have like it doesn't bruise my ego to like quote unquote admit. Like I would just say, of course I don't have confidence in it. Why would I? I don't skateboard. But other people, they think that like makes them less of a guy, or they just think that shouldn't be the case. They think they should be confident in all these other things that they don't do. And if they don't, something's wrong with them. That's something that needs to be fixed. But I just don't think that's true at all.
Do you think it seems like what you're saying is like lack of confidence is two things. One is laziness in practicing something or working on something. And
it's a natural result of not practicing.
Right.
It's not something to be upset about or be like, oh, I gotta learn how to be confident. What's wrong with me? Like if you don't have muscle, you wouldn't be like, oh, I don't have muscle. Fuck, what am I gonna do? Like you would just go, oh, okay, I don't have muscle because I didn't work out. Duh. Like let me go work out. You wouldn't be confused. It wouldn't be a mystery why you don't have, like, why you're not a great salesman. You wouldn't be like scratching your head trying to figure it out or thinking that like something's wrong with you. You would say, well, of course I'm not. I don't do that. Let me go do that. And I think people just don't. It's because they have a weird idea that confidence is like this concept in and of itself that is like divorced from any other domain. They think there's like a generalized confidence, but there isn't. There's confidence, just like with intelligence. It's domain specific, right? Like you have intelligence in math. That doesn't translate to intelligence in literature, really, right? There's not much trade over. And so being smart in one doesn't mean that like you're not smart or dumb. You're smart in this area and then not smart in this area. And the same thing with confidence. There's not like this base stat. People think it's like a video game where you have like your confidence stat. And it's, oh, it's too low. It needs to go higher. It's just depending on what you're doing.
I would even think or argue that, confidence can hold you back because, so let's say, I'm good at something, right? So it's very easy to do that all the time. Not do anything different.
Yeah.
Like when I started playing golf, it was very daunting because I never took golf lessons. I never didn't know anything about golf. And then I was in Japan and suddenly my friend said, oh, you got to learn golf. And I went and it was like standing at the clubhouse, going to tee off on the first drive. And I had never driven the ball. So, I didn't, like, of course I drove it terribly, right? And I had to look like an idiot playing golf many, many times before I was able to be better at it. And then...
But see, like, you didn't look like an idiot. You just looked like a beginner. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's the... In my mind, I wouldn't think I looked like an idiot. I would just think, like, well, I look like somebody who's doing golf for the first time.
Well, the thing about golf is it's so extreme. So, for example, if you're not good at piano, you're still sitting there.
Yeah.
You're still sitting there. The tone is over quickly. You go to the next one, right? When you hit a golf ball, completely the wrong way. One, you lose the ball. Two, you might break a window. You might hit somebody. And you slow down everybody. Like, everybody kind of watches the new guy driving. Like if you look like you're athletic, so I look like I'm athletic, so people think I'm going to be a good golfer. So it was really embarrassing because they think, oh, this guy's going to drive it really far, but I couldn't drive at all. Right? I was a good putter. I was good because I used to sneak on the golf course and putt.
Hey.
So actually, my short game was good, which I didn't really realize is more important than driving.
You were just telling yourself that. You were saying, I'm athletic, and so I should be good at golfing.
Well, the Japanese would look at me. It was in Japan. They would all come around. They would even say something like, oh, he looks like he's really going to whack this thing,
Right, but if you didn't believe that,
yeah,
those words would just sound dumb. Like, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, that guy's wrong because this is my first time. You know what I mean? They're going to be disappointed. Like, I wouldn't think like, oh, there's these expectations. I think it's what you're telling yourself. Is that like,
for sure.
I should be good at this. I'm athletic.
Yeah.
And then it's disappointing when you're not.
Well, it's not just bad. Like, when you can't drive,
yeah,
it's like really bad.
Super obvious.
Yeah, it's just like...
And it doesn't end.
No, it's miserable. It's miserable. Because you got to go get it from the water or whatever. And then you hit it again in the water, or it goes over there, it bounces off a tree, And it was like, because I never did lessons and I didn't go to the driving range. And oh yeah, that's the other thing. When I started playing golf, it was with my friend Miyamoto, and he was rich. So he only took me to nice courses. So not only did I not know how to drive, and he bought me a bunch of golf clothes too, and clubs. So I looked like I was Mr. Golfer, right?
Looking the part's important.
Yeah. So I had all these clothes and these clubs, and then I'm also in this. I'm in this golf course that costs like, $300, $400.
So
Yeah.
it's like good guy.
Yeah, it's all everybody's good. Everybody's good. And then here I am just chunking hard, right? And so I was like, I felt like a lot of pressure, But it probably was back from something in childhood, but because I was willing, and every time I played golf, it was like that in the beginning, because I always played with him. It was always nice courses, and nice courses, you can't dig up the grass as much. So when you can't drive, you dig the grass up like crazy, and so you're causing damage. So you feel bad, you're like thrashing the course, right? And then you're just like, oh God, I'm thrashing the course. I'm hitting the ball all over the place.
Well, it's your own shortcoming
I'm
that you
losing
that
balls.
you don't think you should have.
But the thing is the other way. The reason why is because I was willing to play golf and be an idiot, and then I got better, and now I can play golf, right?
Yeah.
So because I was able to, because I didn't stick with things that I'm good at, right? Because I didn't just do things I was good at. So even though I had the negatives of negative self-talk, and it was a high pressure situation. Anybody who plays golf will know what I'm talking about. Like, if you've never played and you're on like Pebble Beach or something, like, it's stressful. Like, it is. You feel the pressure, And it's like you got the nice clubs and everything. But but the thing is, I was willing to look like an idiot. And one guy that I played with, the German guy, he was pissed. I was already playing for a couple of years, but he's like semi-pro, basically. He's a son of his dad owns, those big German companies like Siemens.
Oh, yeah.
His dad owns one of those companies. And so he plays golf every day, this German guy. And he's 6'7". And so we went to play golf. And then I was already been playing golf for probably 6 years now. But compared to a guy like that, like he drives like almost as far as like top golfers. Like he drives straight and really fucking long. He just whack because he's big and he's good. He plays all the time. And so I played with him and I hit a pretty good drive. Like I was pretty happy with my drive. And he looked at me and he was pissed. He was like, well, no one told you couldn't really play golf. And then he just said, I'm going to play ahead. And he just went ahead because he had to play his speed, which was fine because I wasn't, anywhere near his level. But golf is like that. If you don't play golf every day, or at least 100 days a year, you're not going to be warmed up, right? But guys like him and Miyamoto, they play at least 2/3 of the days in a year. So they play more than 250 times a year, And so they're always like top of their game, right? And so basically, I had to accept that golf is one of these more strict games where even if you're pretty good, some people will just think you're total shit. Like basically, like you're like a joke. And you just have to say, well, I'm a lot better than I was, and I'm pretty happy with my golf game, right?
Well, that's why you can never. That's why you can never. That's why confidence doesn't come from achieving a certain level in a skill, because there's always somebody who will, like you said, think you're so low that it irks them.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, oh, once I reach a certain level of skill in this thing, I'll be confident. Like, it doesn't come from that. You know what I mean? You just, as you develop the skill, you develop it to a point that you're happy with it, and then that's where the confidence comes in.
I think golf is an interesting topic.
But focusing on the uniqueness of golf doesn't.
I know it's a different topic, but
Right.
for me, like the best skill I have in golf is that I never care about my score. I like to hit a nice shot. And so if you care about your score,
Well, that's
it
called,
just hurts you.
That's called outcome dependence.
Right.
A lot of people
Outcome dependent.
Their confidence, they only are confident if the result was good, but the result is a lot out of your hand. You know what I mean? Like they'll do a set, and if it doesn't go well, like with girls, they're like not confident. But the result is out of your hand. It's the effort is within your hand. You know what I mean? So the result doesn't matter. It just matters like what you did. If you play perfectly, whatever result comes out, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
When I play perfectly, I get nervous because then I think, well, fuck, people are gonna want me to do this all the time, right? If I like have a really,
Right, but you're
yeah. And I'm like, this is not good. This is gonna fall apart. You know, this level is not. You know, there was one.
That's sidestepping the point that I made.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's still related. Like it's things that you deal with when you do things, right? Mm-hmm. Sports. Like for me, when I had one game of pool where I couldn't miss. One day of pool. I went with Jamie into Newport Beach. Mm-hmm. I beat everybody we were with like 9 guys. I smoked everybody. And then everybody in the bar started taking me on. Like I could not miss a shot. I would break, hit all my balls in. He would never even get a shot. And it was like one of these nights I just couldn't miss. It was the weirdest thing because I'm not even a good pool player. I was like channeling some great pool player or something that night. It was insane. I could jump the ball and backspin it and hit it like basically like that Filipino guy.
You were doing trick shots.
I could do trick shots. I could break and I could get 3 balls in, you know. Like I was just unstoppable one night. And I was just thinking, this is hilarious. I was like, I was telling everybody I was with, I was like, you will never see this night again. Like, this is the only night you'll ever see me play like this. Because this is not me, you know. And I was just like, but it lasted till the end of the night. But anyway,
But the difference is that outcomes are not the same as competence in a skill. A lot of people, they try to derive confidence from outcomes or psychological stuff, but the competency in the skill is the amount of effort or like how successfully you can execute it, just in execution.
Naturally gifted.
No, yeah,
You
it could be that.
And then just do a little bit of it.
But the point is like you're confident because you're exercising it correctly. Like people going up to girls, if they do it correctly, whether the girl likes them or goes home with them or not, that outcome is separate. Being competent at it and being able to do it properly or do it correctly without screwing it up, that's where the confidence logically comes from. And people are like looking at these outcomes or these results and like trying to grab these nebulous things, and you know it goes bad and they lose confidence, and then it goes good and they gain confidence, and so they get this like swelling and undulating of confidence that's just like too unstable because they're looking for a result, and that's not what gives them confidence anyway. And so they're reaching for this elusive thing that just like changes all the time anyway. But if they rely on their competency in the skill, then that's confidence that is at a stable level.
How do you separate that? How do you do that?
You separate it by outcome.
Like in your own mind, like what do you, when you're getting better at a sport or whatever, what do you think?
Like if I'm studying Japanese, right? And I go and I talk to people in Japanese. I know certain words. There's certain words I don't know. And so when I go to talk to somebody, I might be able to say a lot to them, or I might not be able to say much at all. But the reason I can't say much at all is because I don't know those words yet. And so I'm not going, oh, you know, I was able to talk to him a lot. My Japanese is good. Oh, I couldn't say anything. My Japanese is bad. I don't do that. I have things that I know, and then I'm able to execute on those. I can say things that I know. I can't say things that I don't know. And so I go, well, you know, my Japanese is pretty good, right? Because I'm able to, like the words that I've studied, I can use in a sentence, right? I'm able to, the grammar rules I've studied, I can execute on those, right? And so that competency with the skill is what I go on. I don't go on like whether or not the conversation happens to lean on a bunch of words I already know. I don't let that trick me into thinking I'm really good, only to be let down with the next conversation.
How do you handle? Because I think a lot of people deal. Maybe this is not so much something you deal with, but a lot of people. So, for example, with the Japanese as an example, they have a like when you talk to Japanese people, they tend to talk about the same things with you as a foreigner. They ask questions and stuff.
Where are you from?
It's a little bit formulaic, which they wouldn't do with the Japanese, but they would do with the foreigner. So you get really good at those, right? Everybody does. Then you go into another conversation, and then you're not good, right? So in this example, like you're standing there with, say, 10 people around you, and nobody speaks any Japanese. So then you go up and just have a typical boring conversation, like how long you've been in Japan, blah, blah, blah. And then you just answer everything like perfectly. And then everybody around you is like, Sean, your Japanese is so good. Oh my God, this guy's fluent. We got to fucking, this guy's perfect. We're so lucky we got him. And then the next conversation is about geology or something,
Yes,
or
I know
physics.
the answer to this.
And then you don't know the words, and then they all look at you like, wait, we're wrong about you, So how do you...
So the answer to this...
I want two answers.
I understand what you're asking.
No, I want two answers.
Okay.
One is how you do it,
Okay.
and how you think other people do or don't do it, and what they should do, right?
I know. So the difference comes down to ego, which is an unrelated concept to confidence, which is separate. And so the thing is, when I'm talking and people go, oh, you're a genius, you did so well, I don't let that make me feel good. I don't go, oh, that means that my Japanese is good. Because it's tempting to do that. It's tempting to want to like satisfy some kind of like actually it's not tempting for me, but I know it's tempting for other people to like let their ego get away from them and go, oh, I'm good at Japanese. I'll accept this new identity because that makes me feel good, only to be crushed later when they don't execute well. So now, by letting your ego attach to the outcomes, you are setting yourself up for this like roller coaster ride where you're a genius and then a retard and then a genius again, depending on the outcome. But if you can coldly calculate, like when I do something and it goes well, I know that it went well by chance. Like I'm able to accurately say, okay, this part went well because I executed this properly, but then this part went well because I was lucky and it was a simple interaction with predictable content, right? I'm able to do that because I'm not letting my ego get some like dopamine rush from being an expert. When you do that, you're tying yourself to the outcome. And so by having a very low ego about it, you're able to rationally evaluate what's happening. So like when you were playing pool, you were able to tell people, no, you'll never see this again. But that's because you didn't have an ego about it. If you had a big ego, then you would say, I am the man. You're right. Oh, I am the man. I play like this all the time. I don't know. Hey, I guess I'm just a genius. And some people, it's so tempting to feel that way that they'll allow their identity to be glued to it, and they'll brag. And when they do that, they're setting themselves up for a big fall later. And they don't have anything lasting. But by having I consider myself to have maybe the lowest ego of anybody that I know, probably, right? Even though I talk very pedantically, and even though I seem like I'm very like proud of being intelligent, I'm actually very cold about it. Like I don't have a big ego about it, and I don't think I'm particularly intelligent in a lot of areas. But by coldly evaluating, you never tie yourself to the outcome, and so you're never let down, and you're never tying your ego to it. And so you don't have this like emotional roller coaster. You don't let your emotion get tied into it. You don't like try to go, hey, I'm the man, right? If you don't have that need, then you won't fall into that trap.
It's not just the man. Like, let me see if I can explain more. So, like one time I was, like when I was young, I played soccer for like 8 years. And I was an all-star and everything. 8 years? Yeah, and we won a bunch of championship stuff, right? So I was very happy with my soccer, right? Mm-hmm. And so then when I was was probably 27, 28, I was in Japan. I was teaching at a school, and there was a soccer field, and so then I went down, and the kids were very friendly, so I'd talk to them, and then they were playing soccer, and J League had just been started, so Japan was suddenly interested in soccer, and everybody was very interested in soccer, J League, and Japan's soccer has just gone exponential since then, right? They've gotten so good at it, but back then it was the very beginning, right? And so then they wanted to learn from foreigners, right? So I went down to the field, and I would always join the kids for basketball and whatever it was, because I like sports, I'd jump in the pool, swim. So then I got out there, and then some guy, basically, he booted the ball, super, it was like a center. Did you play soccer?
I know soccer, but
so the wings will center the ball.
Yes.
For the I forget what they're called.
Forward.
The forwards, yeah. There's different positions, but I was I was always a forward, or I was a wing for a couple of years, but generally a forward. So anyway, he centered the ball, but it was like a really weird center, because it was when somebody hits a home run, it's just it's like a line drive all the way over the fence. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of center it was. It was just a million miles an hour, 2 feet off the ground, right? And so then it's very difficult to kick that, to hit that. It's super difficult. And so I saw it coming, and I just it came microsecond. I just fucking whacked, and I just hit it perfect, which is almost impossible. Statistically, this never happens, because it was going so fucking fast. The guy had a cement foot, right? He just fucking booted the thing, just a bullet right at me, and I just turned and just hit it right on, and I fucking nailed it. So when someone boots a ball that hard, and you really hit it hard, it goes twice as fast, and it went to, of course, past the keeper, and then it took the whole net off. The whole net went flying in the air with the ball, because it was like when someone pitches 100 miles an hour and then Shohei hits it, he really whacks it. It's going, so fast, right? That's how it was. And so then they looked at me and they were like, whoa, you're fucking good, right? And then, but I hadn't played in years. And then they kept passing it to me. And I wasn't even warmed up or anything. It was just utter, the odds of me hitting that thing like that was almost zero, right? But anyway, then I just played like shit, because I hadn't played in so long, right? And so then they were just they were super disappointed, oh, they thought I was good. And then, which I didn't care, that they thought that. But then all of a sudden they think I'm an idiot on the field. So I got off the field. And I'm not either of those things, right? I'm not that guy or that guy, right? And so, how do you, that's difficult for people to deal with, because it wasn't that I thought I was great. It wasn't ego. It was the fact that they were very disappointed in me.
Right.
But that's and suddenly.
Right. But other people's opinions should not play into your confidence, because your confidence is based on your competence in the skill, and other people's opinions of that is not that. And you just have to understand that. But other people's opinions change like the wind.
Yeah, it wasn't my competence. It wasn't that was not even the issue, because I know I'm pretty good at soccer.
Oh, okay.
It was just the fact that I was suddenly not wanted, and the one minute they think I'm great, and they want me to join, and the next minute they're like, "Get the fuck off the field," basically.
People's opinions they're so.
It bummed me out, And it wasn't a big deal, but it was just fuck.
You just can't do anything about that. People always, people think I'm retarded, and then they think I'm a genius, and I just realized so many people were like, "Oh, you're retarded. Oh, you're a genius." I had so many people calling me, different people calling me different things. That I realized that people's opinions don't matter, and they change really quickly. It's not worth paying attention to ever.
And they make those
when people have an opinion, I know it's like when a girl says I'm angry. She just means for those 2 minutes. And then later, 2 minutes later, she feels completely differently. Or she goes, "I love you." That means right now. It's so fast that it basically has no meaning. It's like saying I'm standing right here. 2 minutes later, that doesn't mean anything. You know, so I just take it as like an in the moment thing, and I go, oh, that's nice. So I know that it just doesn't matter.
Right.
No, you nailed it, man. I was just saying, like, yeah, people make those decisions from just, such a random moment. Like, the first interaction, you'll be making some joke, and like, oh, this guy's retarded. And they have no idea, like, all the other aspects to your personality or the things or what you've accomplished or how successful you are or, like, what you're capable of. They'll just make a snap judgment. So you really can't, like, take that too personally, it's like, it's really interesting. Like, I know someone who met you, and I was like, yeah, we were hanging out, and he's like, that guy was retarded. And I was like, Sean, what are you talking about? Sean's like a fucking genius. I'm like, this guy's like one of the smartest, coolest guys I know. He's like, well, I didn't say it. And I was like, well, maybe you weren't listening. Or then I thought, well, maybe that is how it is. Like, people will have like they'll just make a snap judgment, or they'll make a judgment or an assumption based off of some certain criteria.
A lot of I get that all the time. People are like, oh, that guy's retarded. But then it just depends on like whatever the first conversation I had with him was. If I'm making rap jokes, then it's like, oh, that guy's retarded. He's got to be retarded. Right. But then if I'm talking about like, some science or like whatever thing, they're like, oh, this guy's like a huge nerd. it's just like a roll of the dice. I just know that it's not. You could even pick which interaction you get. You can choose to act smart or act retarded. So it really doesn't mean anything,
Mm-hmm. With the internet, it's like there's new challenges now, right? That never existed before, except for famous people, right? Oh, thank you. Like, for example, this was pretty funny. Remember that one where we were in Austin, and we were at the summit, and then we went to the gym, right? And we were fucking around on that one machine.
Oh, yeah.
The tricep machine.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were having a great workout, right? But we were like a big group of guys. So it was a pretty big summit, right? We were all down there. And then they didn't have like a good, what is that, tricep?
Yeah.
They didn't have a good tricep machine. So we didn't, not everybody lifted weights. So I didn't want to like lay on the bench and do that thing with the tricep thing over your head. Or, I just like, okay, we're going to do what we can do as quick as we can. We're going to get a good workout. Everybody's going to get a workout. And then we'll be done, right? So then I would use the tricep machine, but it was basically so retarded that I could just do the whole stack over and over. So I was like, okay, we got to make this harder, right? And then we'll use the machine. Everybody can use the machine. So then we put extra weight on it, and it wasn't enough. So then we had, was it not Cliff?
Do you want to say his real name?
Oh, no, you don't want to say his real name. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, that guy's a fucking great guy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him again, to see where he came from, how he.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, he gets on the back, and he's a big guy, right? So he's standing on the lever. So basically, I'm doing the whole stack, plus weights balanced on there, plus a big guy standing on the thing, and I'm just with my triceps, and I'm having to hold my legs down because I'm tricep. Yeah. I'm doing more than my whole body weight. Yeah. Like significantly more than my whole body weight. And so basically, but the problem is that I put it online, right? Yeah. I put it on my Instagram, but for some reason it became viral, right? And like I went crazy viral.
Well, it's rage bait.
Yeah. So then the problem was the machine was kind of retarded, which we already knew, and we were literally fucking around. Like at that point, it wasn't even serious, but it was just like everybody was like, "Well, I wonder how much Ronin can do. Like, let's see if we can put some more weight on." And we're all in a good mood, so we're all like,
yeah, we're just having fun.
Yeah, we have him stand on the fucking back. It was like, holy shit, he's doing all this. So we're all like laughing, having fun. But the video went viral amongst a very unusual group, amongst weight trainers. Yeah. So guys who train people.
Experts.
Yeah, it went into like
self-certified.
Somehow it got into some group of trainers. And like the guys with the
kind of mechanical engineers.
Yeah, the guys with their licenses and stuff to train people, right?
Even better, it was in a gym that's notoriously known for like the
workout
guys,
like the retarded gym, right?
It's like it's the purple gym where it's like if you feel like someone's grunting too loud, you can hit the safety button,
right?
Security button. So even funnier that it was in a gym that's like you know, the
Well,
whole
it's-
thing
it's
is it's
the
supposed
gym
to
that's-
turn away the gym rat guys, the
Yeah.
guys who would do crazy heavy weight, you know.
Right.
And so we're doing it there because that's what the gym we had, you know. We're just having fun.
Yeah, we
It's
just
the gym where you see all the workout fail videos from anyway.
right. It's like every time you see someone do something totally
They're
stupid,
there.
yeah, then it's going to be at that gym, right? So everybody knows it's,
So
it's Planet Fitness,
It's
right?
Planet Fitness
Yeah.
hate combined with like, I'm an expert. Let me teach this guy about moment arms and why this is not actually like blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And like people wanting to feel smart by like dunking, and people getting like it's the perfect rage bait.
It went super like viral. Like I don't even know how many views it finally got, but it was just skyrocketing. Like I was getting so many comments on that thing.
Yeah.
Like every 5 minutes for like
Tens of thousands
2 weeks or
of
3
views on
weeks,
that.
there'd be like a new comment every 2 minutes. Like, and usually 3 comments every 2 minutes. Like, it was just comment, reply, comment.
It's people.
And it was like,
They were so funny.
it was like people like this is why I don't go to the gym.
Yeah,
Retards
yes,
like
yes.
this. Look at his arms; they're so skinny. You know, like he looks like a fucking ant. You know, blah blah blah. It was everything. And but the thing is, to make
crazy.
to make the video, to make it more crazy is, I actually did look skinny then, like because for some reason, you know how cameras lie, right? You can make a guy look really big or really small depending on
with light
angle.
light and angle.
contouring
Like
and
the way this was, I actually look like my arms are really skinny.
you looked way skinnier in the video.
Yeah.
Your definition lines got all
Yeah,
washed
you couldn't.
out.
It was like a terrible.
It was like a spotlight. Yeah.
I just posted it because I thought people were going to understand that we're just having fun. Because we were literally laughing
video.
so hard. We were laughing so hard, right? It was just like we were in such a good mood. And then all of a sudden, these guys were like totally serious about it. And they're just putting me down, like, I want to kick your ass. And like, oh, there was like tons of stuff. It went
I
crazy.
can lift more than you.
Yeah, there was this. Well, everybody said,
Crazy.
yeah, everybody was like saying, like, yeah, I can lift my.
I hate this guy. This guy makes me so angry.
And it didn't bother me that much, but when it kept getting comments like over and over, and everybody was saying like, "I want to meet you in the gym and we'll do this," and I was like, and I know I'm stronger than most of those guys because I just am. I'm fucking strong. It's just the way it is, you know. Like it or love it, leave it, you know. So I'm like, this is so fucking stupid, and they just kept putting. And I was thinking these guys would never say this in person, right? No fucking way. Even if they thought I was like that, which they wouldn't, but if they did, they still wouldn't say it. Because these are the kind of comments you put on a total idiot site. Like you see some chick like trying to put gas in a Tesla. Like that's the kind of video it was. Like that was the kind of comments. Like you know, every single stereotypical comment that would be in that video was on this one. And it was like funny. And I thought, you know, it's really interesting because this didn't happen before. You wouldn't get like piled on by like 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 people that didn't know you before. Because newspapers wouldn't let you do that. Even if you're famous, there was no place to do that.
Yeah.
That was so personal. And it was a good, somehow it was a good experience for me. It was a good experience. I don't know really what I learned from it yet, but it was pretty extreme, and it was like really good. And people stopped commenting after I posted a few pictures. As time went by, they realized, oh, I got the wrong guy here or something. You know, they stopped commenting. But
I can't make fun of this guy. Damn it.
yeah, it was like people. It didn't like the comments didn't make sense, like the way you know, but they thought it was. So every time I see a rage bait video with everybody commenting, I think about it. I think, you know, I'm definitely not going to comment on that because I don't know much about that situation. So I can't say for sure. Because it's so easy to make somebody these days look like an idiot. You know, or like you make, like when I was visiting from Japan, like this girl, I had this girlfriend in Carlsbad. She had a Mercedes diesel, and she lent it to me, and so I was driving it around and stuff. And then you know, I had a Rabbit diesel when I was in high school, but that's like 1981, right? You know, I haven't had one since, right? So I don't even know which sign has diesel or which. So I'd always pull in and I guess I have diesel and no diesel. I figured, okay, it's got that green sign, so I would know what to do, you know. But then, even then, I would forget that I was driving a diesel, so I'd drive it to the gas. And I remember, I remember a couple times, like, people just looked at me like, this guy's such a fucking idiot. Like, he doesn't even know how to fill his own car up, right? And I was just borrowing the car for like a couple days, right? And, and you got to accept that some people will, because of the situation, just think you're a complete fucking idiot or some kind of genius, you know, and somehow just be okay with that, you know. Well, I think that's good for you.
A lot of people, like when it comes to like, am I good at this? Am I bad at this? Most people are pretty even across the board, like in terms of like, am I better or worse than the average? When you query people, you'll get like an average result. Half of people think they're less than average. Half of people think they're better than average. But 93% of people believe that they're smarter than average, right? Intelligence is a special thing that a lot of people all seem to think that they have. And so they're always looking for a chance to prove themselves right. They jump at the chance to call somebody stupid. And most people who talk to me with an attitude of like, I'm smarter than you. And at first, it would like, when I was young, it would bother me because I would think like, this person's like a high school teacher, like they're a loser. You know what I mean? Like what are you talking about? Like these people think they're smarter than me. But then I realized that, oh, everybody kind of thinks that, and it's meaningless.
I think driving is the same thing.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're more.
That was the other one. Driver. It was people thinking they're a good driver, and people thinking that they're smarter than average.
Oh.
Those are the two things that people really, and so a good rage bait thing can like trigger that need to validate that feeling, right? When the people see people drive badly, they go, ooh, you know, that guy drives worse than me. Yeah, because I'm a good driver. These guys suck. That's the average person. Look at them, retard. I think I'll say something. You know, it taps deep. It gets deep, and your Planet Fitness thing especially tap deep because people who lift are usually right wing, and then Planet Fitness has a left wing vibe, so it engages the political hate kind of thing too. So not only do they get to feel smart, but they get to smash their political enemy. I bet he's liberal. I hate this. You know, this guy's loser, weak. I bet he sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're tapping into extra hate.
Yeah, but actually, Planet Fitness is like $10 a month if you're smart, if you get the right offer from them, right? Cheap. Yeah. So $10 a month. I mean, if you travel a lot, they're everywhere. Yeah. So I don't care that everybody is one way or politically or whatever. Like when I do yoga, like very few people think politically the way I do who do yoga. And so when you finish yoga class, you can just assume that nobody agrees with you on anything politically, right? And so, but that doesn't bother me because I really enjoy the physical part of yoga. And I respect people that work hard to get good at yoga, you know. And I'm not anywhere near, like, I haven't even done yoga on this trip because I just made a decision not to take my yoga mat. And then I'll get back to Thailand and start doing it all the time again. But, so I'm not any kind of sense of a great yoga guy, but I really enjoy it when I do it. And I feel great value from it. And I don't care that some people see it as political. And it's the same with Planet Fitness. Like, I see it as a $10 gym. And as much people talk about that place not being good, they got some heavy weights there. Like, you know, you can squat more than 500 pounds there, no problem. You can stack those weights on there. So there is nothing stopping you from lifting heavy there, except for the signs that say you shouldn't or whatever. But like, actually, the weights are there. Like, if you want to lift heavy, you can lift heavy at any gym. But especially a big gym like that where they have so many machines and so many plates.
People fell for the advertising. The advertising is designed to make it seem like anti-lunk so that people who...
It was a marketing thing.
It's a marketing thing.
They made a marketing
They
decision.
think the marketing's real. Like, a gym is not going to hire somebody to stand there and, like, make sure no people aren't dropping weights. Make sure, like, it's empty. You can't find any staff even if you wanted to, just like every other gym.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why it's $10 a month. Like,
right.
They just fell... They believed the image, but the image was designed to get people to sign up who don't go to the gym, and that way you get all the best customers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting because it just made me think about two other things. Is like when the Prius came out, I was in Japan, and
Us for pussies.
but in Japan, there is no
What are you, liberal?
like in Japan, like nobody thought you could do a non-plug-in hybrid, like basically like nobody thought that the energy was worth the wait, and so no company ever really tried to do a hybrid because they figured it was going to break down. It was going to be too much weight, the suspension, the gas mileage with the extra battery, and then Toyota pulled off the impossible and made a Prius, made a car that made sense. And my friend bought one, and so he's my good friend, Japanese guy. So he calls me, he goes, "I got a Prius," and I was very interested in new technology always. So at the time there was no political connection to Prius. It was a brand new technology, and it was a kind of an exciting thing. Like, whoa, because I knew people have been trying to do stuff like this, but no one had ever pulled it off. And then my friend said, we called him Ryder. He called himself Ryder, but he said, Ryder's like, no, this thing's like cool. It's awesome. It was a Generation 1 Prius. Because I don't even think we had Generation 1 in America. Because it wasn't yet big enough to export. But so I drove it around Harajuku, and I was like, whoa, this thing's amazing. Because it was totally silent when the gas wasn't going, right? And so anyway, I really enjoyed the fact that they somehow pulled this off. And I was very impressed with that. And then when I saw the Prius and what the mileage is, because you can get like 50 miles a gallon, and I like to drive, but I don't like to buy gas. So I like to be able to say, like basically Sean's in Florida, I'm in California. I like to be able to just jump in the car and drive there. Yeah. Because if you're older, if you're like my age, like 61, like back then gas was 30 cents a gallon, or sorry, it was less than $1 a gallon. It was like 90 cents a gallon something. And you could just drive, because they had good gas mileage cars then. They had diesel rabbits, and that diesel was even cheaper than gas back then. And they also had, my sister had a Corolla that got 37 miles a gallon.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
But this is like back in like...
That's competitive with today.
Yeah. It was just like today.
That's crazy.
And we're talking like 84. Wow. Yeah, and I was amazed. It was like true too. I got 42 out of it, but it was rated at 37 because I'm very, very light on the pedal, and I like to put it in neutral when I'm going downhill. Like I do all the tricks because I don't like to buy gas. Yeah, I'm like super cheap about buying gas. So I basically drove my sister's Corolla. It was a stick, and I got 42, and I was like and I know for sure because I got 420 miles out of a 10-gallon tank. Going up to I was going up to a Christian camp in high school, and I was all impressed. Including I went up a mountain, and still got 37 or 42.
That's crazy.
No, it was 420. I was 420. Yeah, it was like 10 gallons times 42. So there's no way I made a mistake. Like it was absolutely on the button, right? And I was like, whoa, this is cool. And so now, so now obviously there's some cars that are now there's a lot of regulations that make them heavier. Like airbags and stuff. So it's harder to get good gas mileage now. But those original Honda Civics and stuff, and man, they got killer mileage. What was I saying? That was
you went to
it was like political and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
People's opinions.
Yeah, a lot of guys think that you have to have a big engine, that's masculine, and like you gotta not worry about gas mileage because that's like feminine or something, And so I know there's a lot of guys who think that. They just do. There's just a lot of guys think that. And they really like twin turbo diesel, just pump it out. And I think it's fine. I don't think anything about them. But they think something about me because I like good gas mileage. And then when the Prius came out, I was like, ooh, I bet I can get like 50, 58 out of this sucker, And then I got to pay jack shit for gas, right? I can fucking drive forever, right? And so basically I can just drive wherever I fucking want to go. which is that's really what I care about. I like driving cars. I like racing and all that, but that's more like these days I don't do it, but like even in the old days, it was just once every million years. Like most days I want to be cheap on gas. If there's, I like both, to be honest. I like driving a car hard, maxing it out, and I also like being cheap on gas.
That makes people believe things about you.
True, they both do.
But their beliefs
They're both opposite.
are just meaningless.
Right, they are. They're like so wrong. Because if they could see the light through my eyes, they'd be like, how much do they really like paying for gas? Like, how much fun can it be? It's like, you just keep putting money in your car. Like what? I don't see.
That's like manly or something, right?
Like yeah,
Spending more money.
Yeah,
Bigger's better. That's right.
So it is like kind of funny. Like life is kind of like that, where sometimes people think you're great, sometimes think you're an idiot, and it's very, very important to. I think it's important to have friends who know you too, whose
opinion you can rely on.
Yeah, they know more about you. Like they know when you did well, and they'll compliment you, but it's a true compliment. It's like, well, I didn't know you studied so hard and did, I know you're not naturally good at this. Like, here you are doing good. This is fucking awesome. Where somebody else might say, oh, you're so lucky, gifted with this thing. So that's why friends are so valuable. Is they can just give the right comment based on who you really are, right? But thank God for friends, because I that does a little bit hard for me, like a little bit, like the up and down. It's not that I think I'm great. It's just that suddenly they think you're a fucking idiot, right? You know what I mean? So
you feel like you lost something, but the truth is you never had it to begin with. Like you lost their favor, but their favor was meaningless to start with.
Part of me was like thinking, I was ready to start saying to the guys, like, just show up in my gym, I'll kick your ass, like, because I can fight. I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking kick your ass. You know what I mean? You think you can lift more? Well, let's fucking take it outside.
Let's go band for band.
Yeah, because the comments were pretty brutal, right? And I can fight, right? And people don't expect that, right? So so like, it was hard. I held it back. I didn't do that. There was a couple of guys that I was thinking it'd be fun to kick their ass, It's like the travails of life, but through the eyes of competence, confidence. But I think one thing should be said too is, it seems to me like the new woke. Everyone says woke is dying. Woke's not dying. Woke is here to stay. It's totally gonna be around. But is that you? And I see this with like girl boss kind of people too. Is they say, well, you have to have confidence. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it is a big thing people say.
Yeah.
And what I think I kind of know what you're going to say.
What would that even be? Like imagine faking it till you made it doing calculus. Like imagine if I couldn't do calculus and I was just like, well, I'm just going to pretend like I can do calculus until I can do it. That would be retarded. Now, imagine faking it in getting girls. Well, I can't get girls. I don't know how to talk to girls. They, not getting a good reaction bothers me. I don't want to kill them. I'm just going to pretend like I like it and then just wait till I get good.
Well, no, the way they would do it is they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
pretend like they have.
They would tell you.
They
would
just pretend. They would pretend like they're good at it. And they're so like
until they magically get good at it.
So many hot models, they just like always dumping them.
All pretending does is remove the uncomfortable feeling. But the uncomfortable feeling is what would lead you to get good at it.
Yes.
And so you're removing your only motivation, which is retarded. You're fixing they are approaching it as if the problem is the feeling they have. How do I get rid of this feeling of not being good enough, or this feeling of sucking at this thing? Well, I can remove it by being delusional, or you could remove it by just getting good at it, and then it will naturally go away. It's the lazy, emotional way of dealing with something that's designed by evolution to get you to be good at something.
No, but maybe So, for example, let's say you think you're a pile of shit.
Yeah.
You think you're no good. Your dad told you you're no good. You think you're no good.
Yeah.
And so you got to fake it, confidence, in order to even try something to get better. I think that's what some guys are, is they think they're not good.
Delusion.
They're also under delusion, and they just, instead of doing that, they just need to open their eyes. They say, do I suck at this? I'm this good. Other people are this good. If I'm better than 60% of people, that means I'm better than average.
No,
That's
I'm
not-
saying like trying something new.
Oh.
Trying something new. So, for example, you
believing you suck at something that you haven't tried is true. You do suck at it.
No, but like
Right?
you're, but
And you
they're-
shouldn't be confident.
No, but they're
But-
attaching that
right,
they're no
yeah,
good
but-
to sucking.
I know, but the fact that they're not good at
We have
it,
to talk about that separating.
but the fact that they're not good at it, that feeling shouldn't stop them from doing it.
Right.
Like the fact that they suck at it, it's your first time doing it. Well, odds
Well,
are
that's
you
the
will
motivation
suck at it.
to learn, yeah.
Well, odds are you will suck at it, but that feeling should not dictate whether you shouldn't only do things that you think you're going to be good at. That's
They got to do some kind of a digectomy of separating, like
True.
for example,
True.
them thinking they're a pile of shit,
yeah.
and then it's not thinking they're not good at something. So when a lot of people hear that they're not good at something, what they hear is, "You're
I'm not
worthless.
good."
You have no meaning."
Yeah.
So I think that's a difficult thing for guys. I think that's more of a real problem that people have.
Yeah.
Is they maybe their parents told them they're no good, or they just think they're not good at everything. So they think I'm no good, and that's what they hear when someone says you're not good at this particular skill.
But the way of understanding
That's a
it-
real thing.
But it goes back to what I said earlier. There's not a general bar for intelligence. Like there's not an intelligence stat or a confidence stat. Like it's based on domains. It's based on topics. And so if somebody says like you're not good at this, if you don't believe that there's a general stat, then you won't think, oh, that means I'm no good, because there is no I'm good or I'm bad. I'm good at X or I'm bad at X. And so when somebody says you're bad at this, you can say, well, they're right, I am bad at this, but that doesn't bleed over into some general stat about me, because there's no general stat there. There is no like, how confident am I? How smart am I? There's none of that. I'm smart at this. I'm dumb at this. And so by this false belief, it all comes to beliefs that are in your head. If you believe that there's a general stat of like, I'm good, I'm bad, then you'll start wondering about your value in that stat. But if you don't believe it exists, then when people say, you suck, you'd be like, I can't suck. Like, that sentence is incomplete. I suck at what? You know what I mean? If you don't believe in this central stat, those statements become nonsensical. It's your own belief that you could be good or bad in general that allows sentiments aimed at you to affect that.
But the sentiments are from yourself, right?
Well, ultimately they are, of course. Ultimately, it's you telling yourself, I'm bad or good.
Yeah, as you say, that's a really good point, because on the other hand, it's like someone could think you're terrible at something, or shit on you, or you might think you're not that good, but you may not actually be that bad. Like, some people are idiots, and their opinion of what you are, or who you are, or what you're capable of is completely off.
They're right. They're right. You suck, and you should never try, because you're only going to embarrass yourself, and then everybody's going to look at you and point and go,
dig a hole, put your head in the hole, and don't
he
come back
was
out.
right. You suck. Yep. And then yep. And that's going to be, and that'll never end. And they'll just keep shaming you. And then,
Now, I think if that comes from
everyone in the world is going to know about it.
yeah,
too.
I think if that like feedback or that advice comes from somebody who is genuinely really good and expert in that, or like very talented in that field, and they're like, honestly, man, like I don't know if baseball is your thing or whatever it is, right? And then this is someone that's really good and they really know what they're talking about. Then you might want to be like, well, maybe it's not my thing, or you might have the personality type that's like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to fucking find out. I'm going to prove I can do this. Like, I have that thing if everyone's like, oh, Fox, you're this, or you're that, or you could never do that. There's something in me that's, at first, often would be like, oh, man, yeah, they're probably right. And then something else like, nah, screw that. No one's going to tell me what I can or can't do.
That's
And
what Michael Jordan is. When he talks about himself. If you tell him he can't do it, that's when he goes and does it in your face.
Yeah, at least one.
That's his number one motive.
I want to find out.
If someone tells him he's no good.
Yeah.
Or he can't do this.
Yeah.
And so you can't say that's not a good motivator. Like Michael Jordan is a perfect example.
Yeah. I think it's more of a maybe
He's the best.
a defiant personality trait or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of it is too is just curiosity probably. Like, can I actually do something, or can I learn that? And I admit, like, there's certain things, like, I'll never be as smart or talented as Sean on certain things, but there's other things I'm really good at, and so that's okay. I don't have to be a master of everything. I want to, like, learn what I can learn and be able to do what I can do, but I know some people are going to just be naturally better, more gifted in certain areas, and that's fine. But still, I want to find out, like, what can I do? What am I capable of? Like, and the more time I spend around, like, Ronin Man and the guys that are, you know, drawn to the summits as well, the more I'm challenged and like,
Maybe I am pretty good.
yeah, get fired up. Like, what can I do?
Well, you know what happened the other day when I was driving I was driving with Ken home from the Austin Summit. And then Ken said something like, hey, why don't you sing this song? And then I was like, oh, I can't sing. I'm a terrible singer. And then Ken said, well, you know, I think you have a very nice voice. I think you could sing. And, you know, Ken, he's kind of a multi-talented guy. You know, he used to write movie scripts and things like that. He's just done a bunch of things. And I was like shocked because no one's ever said, you know, you could sing, you know. And so then I tried to sing that song.
Yeah.
And like, that was, you know, first time I tried to sing it. So it was fun. And I always like, but the fact that he said that made me think, well, you know, the only reason why I thought I couldn't sing is because when I was in high school, I remember, it's such a dumb reason. Probably junior high, because it was, Presbyterian church. It was like junior high. And then I had this, like, we had to sing for chorus or something, and then there was, like, Mrs. Hunt was the teacher, right? And then, you know, I just got thrown in there with the kids. And this was a very highly, like, if you were, like, wealthy, like, you were at the top. Like, it was quite a hierarchical type of church. And I was, like, new. So I was basically nothing. But I had a few things going for me. You know, like, there was a few things, but I had other things, like, very negative because I didn't grow up in that town, right? You had to kind of grow up in that town to be cool, right? And I was moving from another place, from Arizona. So anyway, I get in there, never sang in my life, and we're supposed to just sing right away. And I'm just like, I was just terrible. And then she said, you know, why don't you stay after and I'll teach you something. But, like, I don't know, whatever she did to teach me, it was not the right thing at all. Like, I did.
She was like, just do it.
Yeah, I was just like, it didn't work.
What are you, stupid? I told you.
Whatever it was, it just didn't work at all. And I was very frustrated as soon as she started trying to help me. And then I left, and then I never really sang again because, like, I would kind of mouth words if I was in a thing, but I never really sang. But so when Ken said, oh, I think you have a good voice, then it made me think, like, maybe I could try to sing something right. So I think I agree with you. Like, basically, when you're around guys who were trying stuff, you do question some things that you thought you knew, right? And it's kind of fun. It's fun to question, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, we'd be cruising around Japan or wherever, and you'd be telling your stories, and I would just be like, oh, well, that's cool, Matt. That's not me, you know? And then I'd be like, wait, could that be me? Like, could I do that? I don't know. I never tried. You know, like, I don't even know, like, what would that be like, you know? Whatever it is, right? And this is in just various fields of life, various areas. And then that curiosity, that kind of almost self-exploration, that not only desire to just improve myself in different ways and level up different skills and be kind of like a Renaissance man, but also the curiosity of, like, I would maybe start with that, well, yeah, I'm not good at that, you know, that's just not me. But then I started questioning that belief, basically, of myself, that I was this or that, you know, from whatever experiences or successes or failures I've had before in my life. And I started thinking, well, wait a minute, could I be? Like, I don't know. Maybe I never really tried, or maybe before I wasn't able to, but now I'm ready, you know. And it's a really cool thing to just have that openness with yourself and with the people around you. Be willing to try stuff. Be willing to fall. Be willing to. It's like surfing. Be willing to eat shit get rolled, get wiped out, and then just keep getting up there and trying it, whatever it is, right? And like think, watch, learn, ask people, observe. Same thing with girls, getting good with girls. It's like a lot of things are learnable skills, or that maybe some people are in a natural talent, but there's things that you can do that'll make you better at that. And I feel like if you're, don't just basically write yourself off or someone else off, and you're willing to try it, because I've watched it happen too with the guys.
Some things are just better to give up on. Like, there's no reason. You don't have to be good at everything. Some things you're just not good at. Right?
Well, it's true. I mean,
some things you would have to spend so much time.
Yeah,
you can spend your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting good at whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a point where
other things are worth it because you want to try them, right?
Yeah.
So I sang that song and recorded it, right? Oh, you didn't hear it? Yeah. I sang Everlong by Foo Fighters, right?
Nice.
Yeah, and then it was fun, And then I also wrote some poetry for my blog, my regular blog, right?
That was good. The motorcycle one with the sakura flower.
Oh, okay.
I read that one. That was good.
Oh, okay.
I like that one.
The other one is the one I really was proud of. The other one, but I got to find them because we changed the website now, and so I hope I have them still somewhere. I think Joel has them somewhere. He has a backup, I think. But it was fun because I had never written poetry, never was interested, or I was interested. Poetry was nice, but in China, you write a lot more poetry. The Chinese are more into poetry than other countries, right? And so, and Japan too. Japan has the, what is it, 535?
Yeah.
I can't even.
535. Oh, 575.
575. What was it called? Well, I can't even think of it. Right
Haiku.
Haiku, yeah. So like haiku is something that is, there's so few words, 5 words, 7 words, 5 words. They're so simple that and living here, I saw a lot of people try to write haikus in English and Japanese. And I realized that it wasn't as hard as like when you think about poetry, like Western poetry, it's like much more daunting.
Yeah.
Because it's like random. How long is it going to be? What does it mean? What is poetic? And then, but with Japanese or Chinese poetry, they have it's very short, and it's just like, you can think that way, or at least for me, it was easier to think in haiku. And so I could, those were kind of not haiku, but they were like from a haiku perspective. They're very short, and and just boom, boom, boom. And they're not all, it's not like a paragraph, right? Yeah. It's like one's longer and shorter. That's what makes them interesting. But
that's fun to write haikus.
Right.
Maybe get inspired, just to see.
Just to see. And it was fun because I wrote those 2 poems, and then the one especially I really thought was good. I really liked it. And then I thought, wow, I didn't think I could write something like that. You know what I mean? So, and I never really was inspired to write that many more. It was pretty much those 2 because it was something in my mind that happened to me. So I could write about it because I don't care about writing poetry, but certain things deserve to be in poetry, certain experiences, right? So I had 2 experiences that really matched somehow the spirit of poetry, right? So that's why I wrote those ones.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in things that just try to make them into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. What I was talking about really wasn't, to clarify, wasn't like thinking, oh, I've never played baseball before. Maybe I could be the next Otani. Like, I'm not talking like that. Like, it's more like, oh, I never really played baseball that much. I wonder if I could hit the ball real good. Or, oh man, I never got into golf, but man, it'd kind of be fun to learn how to do it. It's not not this idea of grandeur, like I'll be some amazing thing, or
No, we didn't think that.
But to clarify, like, because I'm never gonna be maybe as good at most people in certain things, but there is a point of doing it where it adds enjoyment to life. So like,
right,
being able to do
just because of who you are.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Want.
Yeah.
So you're just interested in this one thing, so you're gonna do it.
Yeah. So like exactly like I know I'm not going to be probably that good at it, but I want to go with you guys to like a batting cage or driving range just to have fun, just to whack stuff, just to see what I can do, just let loose and like get the muscles all fired up. And it's okay if I don't hit some amazing, incredible shot, or I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to become the best, batting cage guy ever. It's just like, no, that'd be fun to hit stuff, It'd be fun to learn how to do this. And same thing, it can be with like art, like singing or writing poetry or getting better at photography. It's not like you don't have to do it or master the skill to this level that you're comparing yourself with other people. It can just enhance your life and add more enjoyment to it, or more interesting things that you can do just by trying those things. So, and for everybody that's different, right? For some people, they have no interest in that, or they have zero skill. But I think if you are curious about it, or if you have a feeling like you might be able to do it, it's worth seeing if you can learn it. At least that's been my approach.
I don't even understand that feeling. like I have no interest in finding out how good I am at a skill, because how good I am is already determined, and it's arbitrary, and it says nothing about me. And so if I want to get good at a skill, I'm not interested in how good I currently am. I just work at it until I get to the level that I want to get to. But like, I would never think like, I wonder how good I am at baseball. Like, oh, I'm not gonna do baseball, so I just don't care. Like, whatever skill I'm at, I don't need to go find out. You know what I mean? Because how good I am at baseball says nothing about me. If I wanted to get good enough at baseball to go do something, I would just go do that. And my starting point, wherever it is just whatever it is. I don't, maybe I'm just weird, but I don't know. I wonder what percentage of people are curious of their level in different skills that they don't use.
I don't think it's just level. Like, you're just curious, like, what does it feel like to do this?
But he was saying, he was trying to figure out, like, he was expressing curiosity about how good he is at the, like, I wonder if I could do this or I could do that.
Well, then being able to do something isn't about how good you're at it. It's just
but you said that's why you...
I mean it more like, I guess the curiosity and challenging yourself to find out like what you're capable of.
Yeah, I'm not...
So like, what skills do you have? Because how do you know if you never try?
I don't care about that, and it's hard to understand the feeling, because I just don't have that at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not curious about how good I am at soccer. I don't care.
But if you want to get good at something, you're going to get good at it.
If I wanted to get good at soccer, I would go get good at it. But I wouldn't, like... Yeah, how good I am would just be like, well, that's how good I am based on, the logical things I've done in my life and my personal characteristics. Like, it's not interesting.
It's not you.
It's not a reflection of me at all.
Yeah.
It'd be like what shirt I'm wearing. Like, well, that's the shirt that I got on. That doesn't, I don't have a complex. Like, I don't care. It's just there. It's like I'm a certain height.
It doesn't determine your value.
Yeah, like I'm a certain height. This is what it is. Like,
I think a lot of people do, though, determine their value by how good they are, how successful they are,
that's
and how bad they are, like, also, right? And that's what I was talking about. That's I think that's a very big
that's where the
topic.
ego and that's where the confidence come in. If you detach yourself from those things, then you won't have an ego about those things, and then all those things will just be solved. Like, people are like, "Oh, you weren't here earlier," but we started the conversation with like people were like, "Oh, I wish I could be more confident." I don't even understand that. Like confidence is like a car has an engine, it runs, the engine produces smoke. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? You do things, you get confident, that's it. It's not a thing to even have a complex about.
So basically, just to reiterate, that is basically because we talked about this before too. Like, I'll try to say, tell me if it's right, but I think it reiterate for people, like, basically, if you feel like you don't have confidence in life, it might be because you're not really trying. Like, it might be because there's something holding you back from really fucking going for it.
Well, you don't have...
Like, it's not competence, but competence, right?
Right.
So it's like, if you get better, like, as soon as you get better at something, you suddenly don't worry about it.
Well,
for me, like, speeches, I'm good at.
Yeah.
So I can just, if there's a fucking, I don't even care. I don't care. There's 5,000 people. I don't care if it's like TV. It's the World Series. Like, I just give me a mic. I feel like I'm going to be able to say something, and I'll be comfortable. Like I don't worry that I'm not going to say something. It's just like I'm going to look at the crowd. I'm going to hear everything, and I'll just say whatever's going on at the moment. I'll say, hey, this is happening. I'm very happy about this. I'm just going to talk about it, and then I'll just be done, right?
But the core of what I was saying,
so I don't.
is different. The core of what I was saying is, if you're not confident in something, it's for a good reason. It's because you have.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's because you have no reason to be confident in it. And so, if you wanted to get more confident in something, you should actually. It's because you suck at it, and you should get good at it. And once you're good, then you'll be confident in it.
I don't even think it's like. I don't even know if it's confidence. It's like. I just feel like for example, with speaking, is if like they need a speaker, like they always need somebody to talk, right?
Well, guys are always asking, how do I get more confident?
Right.
It's like saying, how do I get more money?
Right.
Go make money. Like, what are you talking about?
What I was trying to get to people is like, look at yourself. So for me, it's speaking like is one of my things, but you have something that you're good at, and then think about it. Like, are you really confident in that, or is it that you're just good? And so it's easy for you. So you just, if they need that, you just go do that, right? So basically, if they need somebody to talk at the mic, I'll just jump up there and make sure the thing doesn't get out of control,
Your confidence comes from, like, your confidence, that feeling you have is not just like, it's not random. It's not some random feeling. It comes from a real thing. If you're good at driving, you'll be confident at driving. Like, I can't think of a person who's like good at driving and then like not confident. Like what kind of truck driver who's been driving for 20 years is like still nervous and like, oh, I'm such a bad driver? Only somebody with like a mental disorder. Right?
Nobody.
Like basically nobody.
Nobody.
Right? Like nobody. That's where confidence comes from. It's not like this magical
Even a
thing
mental
that you
disorder
need to.
Doesn't fuck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like retard. They're gonna do it. They're good at driving a truck.
If you're not confident,
That's their domain.
you shouldn't be confident. That's normal and it's good. You know what I mean? If you were confident in something for no reason, you're just delusional.
Right.
And so
I
like
think a lot of Americans-
wanting to desperately get rid of this feeling, you'll get rid of it when you actually get good. You know what I mean?
Right. So just work on getting good.
Yeah, just work on don't be lazy.
Find a good teacher.
I'm not confident.
Find somebody to mentor you.
Yeah. Just stop being lazy and get good at it. Don't try to.
Yeah, and then the confidence comes from knowing your skill.
You suddenly know how to do it.
The problem with trying to get more confident is that you're treating the symptom instead of the cause. The cause is you suck. So get better at it.
And you get confidence. Yeah.
You can try to treat this feeling, but this feeling is not going to go away. That's why they try to treat the feeling, and then they still secretly, deep down, they still feel not confident about it. And they're like, oh, I can't get rid of the remaining part of this lack of confidence. I can never be fully confident. How do I? But it's because you're like always trying to numb the pain.
Yeah.
When you should just like cure the illness.
Here's one thing I noticed, just living in Asia for so long, right? Is that Japanese take things very seriously. And they tend to be quite good at what they do. Whether it's working at McDonald's or being an engineer or whatever it is, they really work hard. They take jobs more seriously, basically. They do. You ask them a question, they know. And I feel like when I go to America, I'll go to a store or whatever, and they just won't know. They just won't know a question. So, for example, I went to buy an eye mask for sleeping the other day, and I wanted a good one, so it was like $20. So I went to Talk to Your Hands, and they had this new one that had just arrived, and it had like not a Velcro, but like a new kind of soft Velcro kind of thing. And so then I saw it, and at first I thought, wow, this is perfect because it's not too tight around your head. It kind of very gentle, So then the lady, I called her over and I said, so with this, Velcro-like stuff here, do you think this will last as long as Velcro or not as long? Like I was worried about longevity, right? And she said, well, it's very good, as you know. It's very comfortable. I said, yeah, well, I know that. And she said, it's number one sales. And she said, yeah, I saw that on the thing. And then she said, but to answer your question, she says, I personally think it's not going to last as long as Velcro. And she gave me a very good answer. And she was able to answer that question, even though she hasn't had one for long enough to know. And I think her assumption is probably correct. And I bought it anyway, because I realized that every time I take it off, I don't need to undo it. I can just slip it off my head. So I decided to compromise. But the fact that she knew the answer to that question, and if you go to America to some department store, the odds that they're going to know something like that or be able to have the intelligence to answer that is very low. Very, very low. And I find Americans, like, they switch careers a lot. Japanese don't switch careers. If they're an engineer, they're an engineer. And they get very good at it. And then that's what they do. They do this one thing. And Americans, like in America, everybody switches jobs. And I don't mean this to sound bad. I just want to tell you the truth about the way kind of America versus Japan is that the culture thinks that you can change careers like 4 times and still be good at it.
Still be competent enough to be confident.
Yeah, to be worth being paid and everything. Yeah. But I haven't found that to be true with most people. Like if you need to focus on one thing and get really fucking good at it before you're really good at something, And I see, like, I just am just embarrassed by the lack of competence, even at the most highly paid jobs. I'll often meet somebody making $300,000 and I'll ask them a question and they just won't be able to answer the most basic thing about it. And I'm just so disheartened because in Japan they would always know the answer. And that's when they're making $10 an hour. The guy at McDonald's is going to answer a question properly, right? So I think it's the idea of like fake it till you make it, and there's also an acceptance of mediocrity. There's an acceptance of retardness that is just disgusting to me. Like nobody really is good at anything, and nobody really takes things seriously.
And yet they have complexes about, and yet they wonder why they're not confident. Right. They have no skills. They have nothing. They like sneak into a job and then they're like, why do I feel so bad about myself? Why do I feel like I'm not good at anything? You're not. Right. you have no reason to feel confident. And even why would you?
Even worse than that, everybody you work with might be all retards too. Yeah. So just because, you're a retard doesn't mean everybody else is.
You can fake it till you make it. You can't fake it to yourself. You know you're faking it. Of course you are, right? Unless you have like multiple personalities.
Well, you know what that
know deep down.
That leads me to the final point, which is I was watching a movie or a TV show, and they said the girl said to her mentor, she said, "I just feel like I have imposter syndrome. Like I feel like I'm faking it." And the girl said, "Oh, when I started this job, I felt like that." And I feel like imposter syndrome is actually just this rare glimpse of honesty. Yeah. When they're finally honest with themselves, is that they're actually a complete fake and they're no good at what they do. And they're basically robbing their own company, And to me, that's just disgusting. That's like so retarded. And then to have a culture that encourages that.
Well, not only they see a culture that sees imposter syndrome as a psychological disorder that needs to be assuaged and removed because you're good enough as you are. You just don't know how secretly good you are. And if you realize that, then you'd be confident immediately. That's how they think. That's how it's explained away to you. Right. Is that your lack of confidence is a fault that needs to be corrected at the emotional level.
The biggest problem with this, is, so let's say that you have imposter syndrome and you think you're not good at stuff, and then you listen to this and you think, well, fuck, I'm not good at that. And then that's what it goes back to the confidence we were talking about before. Is and I think Fox said is like basically like you're good at something. So if you lie to yourself about one thing, it's going to stop you from exploring that other thing that you're actually capable of doing. Right? And that's the biggest problem. And then everybody wonders why their life has no meaning. Like they're basically lying, stealing from their company. And then they're like, oh, life has no meaning. It's like, well, not that life doesn't, but lying to yourself doesn't.
Your life has no meaning. You lied to everybody. You were never yourself. You have no skills that anybody cares about. Nobody would stick their neck out for you in a meaningful way because none of your friends are real. And then you're like, I feel like there should be your life has no purpose. You do nothing for anyone. And then you're like, I feel like if I disappeared, no one would care. That's true.
Well, if they disappeared, life would be better because the company would not be wasting money.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
people would not be
life
talking
has no meaning.
talking to
Your
a retard.
feeling is accurate.
Right. But it's not
And if you want to change it, you have to go do a bunch of
work.
things you don't want to do.
Yeah. But the key thing is, and this is really important, is back to the idea that you are not your competence. Because you're not competent does not mean that you're no good.
Yeah.
You're not competent at that thing. Be honest about it and find things that you like doing. Find things that you want to put that energy in to get good. You're not going to be on it. You're not going to be good right away at anything. But you can find something that you care about enough to keep improving, to get competent. And then you'll have confidence. And then you'll know what confidence is.
Yeah.
Confidence is just a natural acceptance of the fact that you put in the work, now you know what you're doing. And then it's like, by not attaching yourself, your value to
things that are not real.
the
Other
skill
people's
level.
opinions,
Yeah.
how a particular match went. These aren't real. What is real is like, do you have a certain skill? That's not other people's opinions. That's not the outcome of a particular match.
And it's also not an anomaly.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the one time that you're not good at something, like, you know, that doesn't mean you're not good at it. And it doesn't matter if people saw it and they think that you're no good. It just doesn't have any effect at all.
Like if Tiger Woods has a bad game, he doesn't think like, oh, I suck now. He doesn't think
Right.
that. He just goes like, well, I had a bad game. You know what I
Right.
mean? He knows how good his skill is, and he can evaluate that honestly.
That's a good example because I've been watching golf tournaments more because I've actually been playing a little bit of golf recently, and like I was watching tournaments which I never watched before because I always thought they're boring as fuck, and I kind of still do, but periodically I'll watch a little bit, and I realize that the guys, they do have some really bad hits, like things that I would think that no pro would ever have. Like the one guy, he did a fucking shank. Like his first drive was just terrible, right? And so he's off to the side, just, you know, I don't know how far down he was, but it wasn't very far. And then he hit it again, and it went across the what's it called?
Oh, the area with the flag?
No. Like what's the can't think of the word.
The green?
Not the green, but like you're standing here, you're hitting down to the golf ball down there. What's this whole thing called? It's all manicured and everything. Like, yeah. Anyway, he hit it over sideways into the other rough, like at the other side. And then he hit it again and went into sand, you know. And this guy's like a top pro, right? Yeah. He just had a terrible hole, you know. It was just like, I don't know how many. I think he had like six shots or something on a shot that he would usually get 3, you know. But it was just the way the hole was, you know. You know. Hey guys, I hope I'm going to end it here, but I think there's a lot of good stuff in this one. So I'd love to hear how you have dealt with your own self and your murky issues that you deal with, like we all do, you know. Like when you were younger, or things you learned, or things that, you know, stand out in this conversation. Because, yeah, guys are dealing with that. So anyway, hope that's helpful. Thanks for being there.